Good morning. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Sorry, my throat was a little sore. Welcome to a brand new episode of Dylan Knows. It is 12:02 a.m. on Sunday, January 15th. A little later than usual because of reasons, but here I am. Brand new episode this week. We're talking some porn talk in here, some local news, some NFL playoffs, trailers, death, taxes. Well, no taxes, holidays, fun stuff like that. So all kinds of exciting things. So hope you're all having a good evening. Thank you for the one viewer who's watching right now. Hope everything is to your liking. I have my new book for those who were here last week and knew I came to the end of one of my notebooks, and I got a brand new one. It's smaller than usual because those are the only ones they had at the grocery store, but that's what I found. Got a new shirt, Wonka shirt for Wonka, and it's a little chilly here, but we're going to be entering a warming trend here in Reisterstown, Maryland. We're looking at, right now it is 28 degrees. We're looking at 43 later today, then 52 Monday, 55 Tuesday, 54 Wednesday, 46 Thursday, 40 Friday. We get a little more temperate near the end of the week, but the beginning of the week should be a bit normal. And there goes my other viewer. So 0 viewers again. Yeehaw. Anyway, so what are we doing here? Well, as I told you, I talked about all that stuff. Got some local news, some changes, NFL playoffs, porn, Community Day, Golden Globe winners. Actually, I got to find those, but I'll find that too. History, and not a lot of stuff today. So this episode should go pretty quickly. So let's start. I'm going to not do the porn story. Just said I'm going to blow through some of this stuff, and I'll hit the porn story here in a second. The BBC has decided to colorize early Doctor Who episodes. For those who don't know, Doctor Who started in 1963. Its 60th anniversary is this year, not till until November when the new Doctor Who stuff comes out and its partnership with Disney Plus begins. But the old school stuff, which was in black and white to begin with, is now going to be fully colorized for the 60th anniversary celebration. And I don't know if they're going to re-release it or re-show them or whatever in the new colorized format, but I think it's kind of interesting as well. The Mega Millions 1.35 billion jackpot has been taken in Maine, of all places. Someone in Maine won the one person won the $1.35 billion Mega Millions. So no more $1 billion stuff in the lottery right now. So Maine is one you don't really hear much about people winning in. So good for them, I guess. Let's see. Mike and Ike flavored Peeps. We talked about the Dr. Pepper flavored Peeps. It is starting to be Peeps season now, but now they have a Mike and Ike flavor. One's Mike and Ike is those sort of licorice sort of flavor stuff. It just doesn't sound too enticing to me. I didn't write this down, but I just remembered it. There was a guy I found on Instagram. I think he's called Sin City Bartender, I think is his name. And I just happened to stumble upon some of his stuff. He does like nerdy cocktails. Like he does the Pokemon ones, and he does Nightmare Before Christmas, and he does the Sin City Bartender, yes. And anime ones and all kinds of fun stuff like that. So it's kind of interesting to see them. And he gives detail on how to do it. So it's like, this seems pretty easy. I could probably do this. So check out the Sin City Bartender if you want to see some of the cool sort of things they got there. Let's see. Mansa Abella has been cast as Amy Winehouse in the biopic that's being directed by female director Sam Taylor Johnson, who's married to Aaron Taylor Johnson, who is in the running to be James Bond and was Quicksilver in the MCU. They start shooting on Monday, so the Amy Winehouse biopic will probably be out maybe by the end of the year in time for Academy Award stuff, or they might push it to next year. We'll see. But Amy Winehouse is a probably interesting story and should make for a pretty interesting movie in that case. Cereal Pop Post Fruity Pebbles Popcorn. Cereal Pop, I guess, is the name of the brand, and Post Fruity Pebbles Popcorn. So now you can get popcorn mixed with your Fruity Pebbles and have Fruity Pebbles popcorn. So I guess that's kind of interesting. Maybe not. I don't know. Depends. Sierra Mist is now Starry, which is a no, Pepsi has gotten rid of Sierra Mist, which was their version of Sprite, and create something called Starry, which is, they say it is a lemon lime soda, but is actually a bit sweeter than Sierra Mist. So it's kind of sad to see Sierra Mist going away. I have not seen Starry in the grocery store yet, though there are some people who have said they have seen it. So I don't know. I guess it's out now if people have seen it before. But yes, Sierra Mist is no longer RIP Sierra Mist, which I enjoyed Sierra Mist a little bit. Actually, we served Sierra Mist at the football pregame tent stuff I did when I worked at the radio station that had the Ravens games. So now we have Starry. Yay, Starry. Phineas and Ferb get 40 new episodes by their creator coming out, I think, on Disney Plus later this summer. And they also had something called Hamster and Gretel has also been renewed or redone or whatever. New episodes have been made or whatever. So we'll see how that goes. I thought Phineas and Ferb did a pretty good job of wrapping up their series. So I don't know what they got planned for additional 40 episodes. So guess we'll find out. A VHS tape, didn't say what movie it was, but a VHS tape sold for $80,000 after YouTubers, what's that word? YouTubers destroyed all the other copies with the wood chipper. So I guess apparently they were able to find all these copies of this movie, or got people to send their copies of the movie into them in VHS format, and they put it all into a wood chipper. And then there's one, I guess, that didn't get out, or they held one or whatever, and it sold for $80,000, because that's the easy way to do it. You want to make some big money, you make it rare. So what you do, you destroy everything and keep a couple on the side, and it becomes rare then. So yeah, so that's interesting. The San Antonio Spurs NBA basketball team has broken the NBA world record, or not world record, attendance record for most fans attending a NBA game. 68,323 people were at the Alamo Dome to watch the San Antonio Sparks play the other night, and that is a new NBA record. I've never been a big NBA fan, but that's fairly impressive when it comes to stuff like that. Keeping with sports, one of the anniversaries that we're going to be talking about this week, the Miami Dolphins from 1972, the 1972 Miami Dolphins are the only undefeated team in the NFL who won every game in their regular season and won the playoffs and won the Super Bowl. The New England Patriots almost did it, but the Giants beat them in the Super Bowl, so they were not undefeated. So they're still celebrating, and on January 14th, 1973, which is actually kind of funny. That's when my streamer friend Shocktor, my friend from high school, was literally born on that day. The Miami Dolphins won their Super Bowl and completed their perfect record that no one has broken. The New England Patriots came close, but no one has broken it since. So it's not a matter of how long it's going to be, when it's going to happen eventually, and we'll see who's going to do it. Excuse me. I mentioned a couple weeks ago that the house, I guess, I don't know if they used the interior, but I believe they used only the exterior of a house out in Oregon for the movie The Goonies was up for sale. So if you were a fan of The Goonies, you go out there and you can buy the house. Well, the house is now officially off the market. And sure enough, a couple of Goonies fans end up buying the house, and now It is theirs rightfully. What are they going to do with it? Don't know. Are they going to live in it? Who knows? Are they going to turn it into a museum? I don't know. We'll see. But the fact of the matter is that it's really cool that, people who enjoy the movies and stuff like that are going to be able to do the house as they want it to. Keeping with the sports aspect, as I said, the NFL playoffs started on Saturday. Majority of the rest, bunch of them come on today, Sunday, and then there's one more game on Monday. The Baltimore Ravens, my team, are the number 6 seed, and they will be playing the Cincinnati Bengals primetime tonight at 8:20 p.m. Nobody in the world is giving them a chance, and I really hope that the Ravens come out and knock the Bengals out, not just because of that, but because I want them to prove to the world that they're not as bad as they think they are. I think a lot of people are sleeping on the Ravens. I think they're underestimating them. They just see certain things. They don't play like a regular team, but they keep forgetting they have a really good defense. And they just played the Bengals last week, and Bengals went out to a big lead, but that was due to 3 turnovers. We don't have those 3 turnovers. We win that game and we sweep the series. So everyone thinks that, say Bengals are going to walk all over us because Lamar Jackson's not playing. And I can tell and hopefully that is not going to be the case. And I hope the Ravens at least make it a game and make it down to the wire. I will definitely be having a heart attack and stomach issues and stuff like that later tonight. But I do have a family get together to go to in about 12 hours from now. So, gotta get moving on with that. But the first 2 games of the NFL playoffs were played today. First up was the 49ers versus Seattle Seahawks. 49ers won that one pretty easily. Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, is continuing his win streak. So he's moving on to the next level of the playoffs. And in a huge surprise, when I checked the score earlier, the Los Angeles Chargers were up 27-0 over the Trevor Lawrence led Jaguars up at around halftime. And then I went upstairs and did some stuff I had to. Then I came back down here right before I did the show, discovered that the Jaguars came back and won 31-30. So that's just like, wow, they did a 31-3 run. Which is insane from when I last checked it. So the Jaguars, with the huge comeback, knocked the Chargers out. There was one guy that I saw on TikTok who had the Chargers winning everything. Well, guess what, dude? Not going to happen. They're going home. So Jaguars are lined up next. So we'll see what happens. So today we've got the remaining 3 games. Who do we got? I know the Ravens are tonight at 8:20. NFL scores. There we go. We have the Dolphins at Bills starting today at 1 p.m. We have the Giants at the Vikings starting at 4:30 p.m. and the Ravens at the Bengals at 8:15 today. And tomorrow the Cowboys and the Buccaneers finish off the wild card round. So unfortunately I think the Dolphins-Bills game is going to be a huge blowout. I don't know. It could be wrong, but I think the Bills are just that good, and Dolphins are going to Buffalo to play. The New York Giants are with the Vikings. That one could be an interesting game. The Vikings, are they for real, or they've won a bunch of close matches, and the Giants have been a pretty good team. So we'll see what happens. That could be the most interesting game of the week. Well, besides the Ravens-Bengals, which I like a lot. And again, I think people are sleeping on the Ravens. I think they're going to make the game a lot closer than people think it is, and they have every chance that they could win this game as well. So I hope there's another surprise waiting in there. So we got that coming up. So those are what's coming up later today. My daughter finally has finished her Eagle project. We finished up everything on Sunday. I think it was Sunday. Or was it Saturday? It was Saturday. I'm sorry. So Saturday we built. They built her benches, and we helped stain, and that was really all we had to do on Saturday. And then Wednesday, she got her connection at Irvine Center up here in the Reisterstown, Owings Mills area, to take her and my wife and place the benches where they're supposed to go. And they took pictures of them. So the benches are set where they're supposed to do. That was the project she wanted to do, is to put benches down on the trails. She got that done. So now she just has to finish a couple of her badges, and then some of her paperwork and committee stuff that she's got to do. So now she comes to kind of the boring aspects of it, but the biggest thing is off her back, and there you go. Let's see. The Crystal Lake TV show with showrunner Brian Fuller grabs Kevin Williamson of the Scream franchise and Dawson's Creek to write an episode of the series. And the original film starred Friday the 13th Adrienne King, who was the original one of the original last girl for the Friday the 13th saga, is coming back in a recurring role as her character in the series. For those who don't know, Crystal Lake is going to be a Jason Voorhees Friday the 13th prequel, sequel, future cool thing. They're giving Brian Fuller whatever he wants to do, and he's saying that you're going to see every iteration of Jason in some form or another. It's an intriguing idea, and the fact that Friday was Friday the 13th just adds to this. We do have another Friday the 13th coming up in October, which is awesome. I love when Friday the 13th falls in October. So we have that coming up. Let's see, do we have any other Friday the 13th coming up? Nope. So next one is in October, and that's it for 2023. In 2024, we have 2, September and December. And then 2025, we have June. Ooh, that'll be cool because that's my birthday month. And that is it. 2026, we have February and March and November. So we have 3 coming up in 2026. But right now we just have one more. That's October, which is going to be awesome, as I said. And then, yeah, so that's good. So good for Crystal Lake. Some local news here. We got a bunch of local news today. Billy Joel and Stevie Nicks will be touring together this upcoming summer. And one of the places they'll be stopping will be at Ravens Stadium I should say M&T Bank Stadium downtown where the Ravens play. So they will be stopping in this summer to do a joint concert. So that's going to be a big draw because the Paul McCartney concert at Oriole Park last year at Camden Yards was a huge success. So I would assume that this is going to be just as big with Billy Joel and Stevie Nicks. I'm almost assuming that my dad is probably going to buy tickets to this as well once they go on sale. So, because when he was younger, when he was around my age, he really liked Stevie Nicks. So, and no, not just her music, how her look and stuff like that. So, we'll see if he does that. And a Parkton couple, which is up here in Baltimore County, are being fined $5,000 plus over a crowing rooster named Wilbur. So they apparently have a rooster that crows a lot and has disturbed the neighbors, and they are suing them, and they're getting fined for it. Necropsy reveals that these freaky fingers are hiding beneath whale flippers, which kind of makes sense because you see whale flippers. And so they were experimenting on a dead whale, and they removed the flippers, and they have these weird looking finger things that help them through the water. Today in stupid politics, the Republicans who are turning into the Taliban slowly or surely, the Missouri Republican State House just passed a law that bars women lawmakers from exposing their arms. That's next level Taliban bullshit. So you're now telling women how they're supposed to dress. They have to cover their bare arms. What the fuck is wrong with you? Jesus Christ, Missouri, you piece of shit. God damn it. What the fuck is wrong with you? This is one of the things that has turned this day into this week into a shitty week when it comes to real life. It's just a big old shit show, and it doesn't seem like getting better. And this just, I don't know what this is. That is next level Taliban Saudi Arabia bullshit. They're always freaking about the Muslims and stuff like that, and they're making people afraid of them and stuff like that. But you're pulling the same shit they do. You pieces of shit, Republican ass hat fuck faces. Eat this, you piece of shit. Next up, Morgan Freeman has joined Nicole Kidman on Taylor Sheridan's new CIA show, Lioness. Apparently, Zoe Saldana's in that as well, so that's a pretty good cast. Is building up with there a little bit. Okay, so we got trailers, porn. And what was the last thing I was going to do? Death. Let's do death real quick. On this page, the death we have Lisa Marie Presley, the daughter of Priscilla Presley and Elvis Presley, died at the age of 54 this week. And Jeff Beck, hugely popular and influential musician, he passed away this week as well. We'll get more death as we move on in the series. I feel like I'm missing something in here. No, because that's porn, trailer, porn, trailer. So we'll do trailers real quick, and then we'll hit the porn real quick. This looks really kind of like a really neat movie, bringing film noir back to the movie theater houses. February 15th, you're going to see the movie Marlowe, based on the Raymond Chandler character. And Neil Jordan will be directing it, and playing the Detective Marlowe will be Liam Neeson, which is absolutely perfect casting. Also cast in the movie will be Diane Kruger, who plays the femme fatale. Aunt Jessica, my Aunt Jessica, Jessica Lange. She's also kind of a femme fatale sort of in this as well. Colm Meaney from Deep Space Nine makes an appearance in the trailer as well. Alan Cumming, Ian Hart, and Patrick Muldoon are all also in the Marlowe trailer. The movie comes out February 15th. I had not heard of it. I am probably going to go see that because I am taking off the 17th of February to go see Ant-Man 3, and their full-length trailer came out this week during the national championship game, and it's a lot darker in tone. A lot of people are comparing it to the Winter Soldier, how it sort of is shifting the tone. It's supposed to be it's the kickoff to Phase 5, and I'm taking off the 17th to go see that movie theaters, but I may have to swing by and check out Marlowe as well. But yeah, the Ant-Man 3 trailer, if you haven't seen it yet, is absolutely phenomenal. It makes you scared for Scott Lang. You think he's not going to make it. And it looks deep and dark. It looks like it's going to be totally different than the previous two Ant-Man movies. So that's a good thing. So we'll check that out. And we'll let you more about that in about a month or so. That's about it. Literally, it's January 15th. This comes out in about a month. So Marlowe comes out in about a month. It's coming out on a Wednesday, I suppose. So My Dad, the Bounty Hunter is an animated Netflix film. The trailer for that came out this week. I didn't really take a look at it, but I just want to let you know that is coming up here really soon. Your Place or Mine also is from Netflix. It's a rom-com starring Ashton Kutcher and Reese Witherspoon. Looks like your typical sort of rom-com sort of thing, but Netflix is doing pretty good. And if you're bored and you have Netflix, just check it out sometime. It's coming out. Didn't say when, but it'll be out soon. Coming out to movie theaters, the classic Judy Blume book that has never, that I can recall, been made into any film or TV show. Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Is finally getting a film version starring Rachel McAdams and Kathy Bates. It comes out April 28th. The trailer is very cute, and it looks like it could be, it wouldn't be my style. I'm probably not going to go see it, but it looks like it could be a very fun movie for young girls, maybe moms as well. Kind of interesting. The Mako trailer came out this week, which is an Egyptian shark attack movie that also is coming out on Netflix and actually came out during the holidays without a lot of fanfare, but the first trailer for it came out, so maybe it'll get more attention. But everybody loves their shark attack movies, and the Egyptians have made one, so there we go. My girl Sarah Michelle Gellar has her new TV show Wolfpack, based on kind of a spinoff of the Teen Wolf stuff, where there's a group of werewolves out in the woods, and she plays someone who is hunting them down, but not Buffy style. She's just a regular person in this case. First trailer for that came out, and even though she's the big name in it, she's not the biggest. She's not the big star. She's probably she's part of the ensemble. She's not Buffy. She's a completely different character. and the trailer focuses a lot more on the story and the kids, and you see a little bit more in the second half of it of Sarah, but the majority of it focuses on the kids and what you're going to be getting into. So kind of about that. Leading into this one thing, a couple of the porn stories here. OnlyFans star who loves Tom Brady says her big boobs are due to her drinking beer naked. Okay, sure. A friend of mine on Facebook responded. It was a male. Said, "Yeah, that's how my boobs got real big." I mean, he was fat. He's making a fat joke on himself. A trans canine woman was fired from her job and banned from OnlyFans for doing a sex act on a dog. I guess when you have OnlyFans, you can pretty much do whatever you want on there to a certain extent, I suppose. And finally, this bit of porn. I just finished reading Maitland Ward's autobiography, Rated X. If you're interested in a autobiography about a mainstream actress who started off in a soap opera, moved on to one of the most loved TV shows of the 90s, part of the TGIF lineup on ABC, Boy Meets World. And after that, sort of bummed around on some other regular sitcoms. Oh, was also in the movie White Chicks as well. Was one of the leads in that one. And then she sort of bummed around Hollywood, and they kind of ate her up and spit her out, and she was at a low bar trying to figure out how life things. And then one door opens and she gets involved in the porn industry, and she becomes one of the most popular, if not the most popular, porn actress out there right now. It's an extraordinary autobiography. If you do not like sex talk, you're probably not going to want to read this then. There's a lot of sex talk in it, a lot of descriptiveness about it, but it's not overdone. It's told in a very good way. It's written very well. Maitland is discussing how it's, if you're looking for a real life sort of fairy tale, how she started off big, and then she hit the rock bottom, and through her own sheer will, her perseverance, and the love of her husband and friends, she was able to get over her being oppressed by her parents, who had strict rules that she had to follow in order to live under their roof, and that meant not really exploring sexuality all that much, and that it was dirty and to do what you're told and stuff like that. And then, once she got into soap opera, she was able to expand her view on that a little bit. And then Boy Meets World, which was a family-friendly sort of show, with the introduction of her, they tried to up the ante a little bit and made her sort of the sex pot actress, which she sort of got typecast in very quickly. And during the time she was, she had relationships with abusive, controlling people, and she eventually got her way out of it and worked her way back up and discovered herself and what she really, really enjoys doing. She really enjoys sex and showing off her body, and she was a cosplayer for a while there. And there's absolutely no wrong. She's making sex work legitimate. And I've always sort of believed that. I think, sex work should be treated not as dirty, disgusting stuff, but as a typical job sort of thing. That's just my opinion, though. And this book, Rated X, written by Maitland Ward, really covers that and leads her to her fairly kind of happy ending, where she is become a huge star in the porn industry, but she's not doing the cheesy, schlocky, sort of stupid porn you always expect, like the female being stuck in a washing machine or under a table, and just the boys just come right out and just start screwing them, and they're women go around the house cooking and cleaning and barely anything, and then are surprised when they stumble upon a guy masturbating. It's a lot of the porn that's out there now it's what it's, they know what it's used for. It's used to get yourself off. But there are a different branch. There is different branches of porn, and one of them is more the legitimate face of it, where there's a few companies do it, including Maitland's one, which she works at, where they do cinema quality story and film that just also happens to have hardcore sex acts in it, but it's done in the flow of the movie. It's not just it's not just thrown in, and the setup is fairly pretty good, and they take abstract ideas and stuff like that and expand on them and do stuff like that. So she covers all that in her book. She covers her rise, fall, and her great rise again, her love of her husband, and and you get a peek into the way the porn industry actually works, and it doesn't quite work the way you think it might. And also she talks about, she sort of hit it big right during COVID, discusses more OnlyFans stuff. I talked about OnlyFans just a few minutes ago. So it talks a bunch about OnlyFans stuff in there as well. So really good book. Very interesting. Again, frank sex talk in it, sexual descriptions, stuff like that. If you don't like that kind of stuff, you're not going to like this book anyway, because it wouldn't be interesting to you. But if you're interested to see how kind of like the porn industry kind of works, or the mindset of, I'm not saying every woman is like this who is a sex worker, but where the mindset might be about why they're doing what they're doing. This is a very good example of that. And I don't entirely do it to get a response, but I did write a tweet out there saying how good it was. I did a really good review of it on Goodreads also, but I put a tweet out there about how much I liked it, and I tagged Maitland in it because she is on Twitter, and she responded to it with hearts. So I was like, that was great. So it's the second sort of celebrity-ish encounter I've had on Twitter. Back around Christmas time, James Gunn responded to and retweeted one of my, he retweeted and responded to it, retweeted my glowing review of his Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special, which, even though Christmas is over, if you haven't seen it yet, check it out. It should still be on Disney Plus. But definitely check out Maitland Ward's Rated X. It's at your local bookstore. I saw it at Barnes & Noble. It's the first time I'd ever saw it. I never heard of it before. And I remember her character from Boy Meets World, because I was watching it kind of a little bit on that end. And, she is a fairly sexy woman. So it's kind of nice to see that sort of stuff. But it's nice to get to know her a little bit more in this book and where her mind is at. And it's actually really interesting. Real quick read for me. It took me about 10 days to read, but that was, interspersed on weekends and in bursts at a time. I didn't really read it like every day or like for multiple times. I did spurts of it here and there, and I was able to read it pretty quickly. So this week was the beginning of the award season, actual giving out the awards. The big one was the Golden Globes was this week, and I'm going to pull out the winners here. All right, where's the list here? All right. Best motion picture drama was The Fabelmans, which was Steven Spielberg's sort of semi-autobiographical movie, which I really want to see. But it won Best Picture, so that automatically puts it it will probably definitely get nominated for Best Picture this year, and could very well may win the Academy Award for it. Best performance by an actress in a motion picture drama, Cate Blanchett for Tar, whatever that is, the one about the female conductor. Again, another one that I've been getting a lot of award talk about, and it's probably going to pop up again on the Academy Awards. Best performance by an actor in a motion picture drama, Austin Butler, which was a huge surprise for his Elvis, was the winner, beating Brendan Fraser. Now, of course, that could be because the people who run the Golden Globes are the ones that fucked over Brendan Fraser. So the fact that he was nominated, they probably were going to figure out a way not to make sure that he wins. So, but Austin Butler, he probably deserves it as well. So I'm just saying that might be, people thought that Brendan Fraser was going to win this one hands down, but kind of surprised Austin Butler won for his portrayal as Elvis, which means he's probably going to be in, again, all these winners are probably going to be in the discussion for Best Picture. Now, this is kind of odd. Best Motion Picture Musical or Comedy, The Banshees of Inisherin, which I've heard great stuff about. But from what I've heard, it is not a comedy or a musical. It is more of a drama. And the fact that it made its way here and won is telling. I don't know. But that's just kind of awful a bit. This is another film that is surprising a lot of people. Best performance by an actress in a motion picture, musical, or comedy, Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once. It got a bunch of nominations and actually won a bunch of stuff, including this one for Michelle Yeoh. Best performance by an actor in motion picture, musical, comedy, Colin Farrell for The Banshees of Inisherin, which again, not a comedy probably, but the fact is, he still won the award. Best motion picture animated, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. Not a big surprise, really. Everybody is raving about it. Best motion picture non-English language, Argentina 1985 was the winner of that one. Don't know much about that one, but there you go. Best performance by an actress in a supporting role in any motion picture. This is a huge surprise and is huge. Angela Bassett won for Black Panther Wakanda Forever. She is the first actor/actress to win an acting award for an MCU movie. And it couldn't have happened to a better person. Angela Bassett is outstanding. She was great in the movie and absolutely deserves the supporting actress role. Best performance by an actor in a supporting role in any motion picture, Ke Huy Quan, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Again, the actor who played Short Round was in The Goonies and Encino Man, stuff like that, then disappeared and then came back in this one, has been winning all the awards, and he's just a very lovable, fun guy. He won this Best Supporting Actress. That's good. Best director motion picture, Steven Spielberg for The Fabelmans. So that puts him squarely in the driver's seat as to being the winner as this as well. Best screenplay motion picture, Martin McDonagh, The Banshees of Inisherin. Best original score motion picture, Justin Hurwitz for Babylon. Best original song for motion picture, Not To by Kala Bavera, MM, Kiravana, and Ross Bleguna for RRR. I don't know what the movie is, but okay. Best television series drama was House of the Dragon, which is the prequel to the Game of Thrones. Best performance by an actress in a television series drama, Zendaya won again for Euphoria. Best performance by an actor in a television series drama, Kevin Costner is a huge surprise one for Yellowstone. So good on that. Best television series musical or comedy, Abbott Elementary winner, not a big surprise. Best performance by an actress in a television series musical or comedy, Quinta Brunson for Abbott Elementary. Best performance by an actor in a television series musical or comedy, Jeremy Allen White, The Bear. I've heard a lot of good things about that as well. Best television limited series, anthology series, or motion picture made for television, The White Lotus, which has been getting a lot of good reviews lately. Best performance by an actress in a limited series, anthology series, or motion picture made for television, Amanda Seyfried for The Dropout. Good for Amanda. Best performance by an actor in a limited series, anthology series, or motion picture made for television, Evan Peters for Dahmer, very well deserved. Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story. Best performance by an actress in a supporting role in a limited series, anthology series, motion picture made for television. Jennifer Coolidge, of course, has been winning all the awards. She won this one for The White Lotus. Best performance by an actor in a supporting role in a limited series, anthology series, motion picture made for television. Paul Walter Hauser for Blackbird. Never heard of Blackbird, so good job, I guess. Best performance by an actress in a supporting role in a musical comedy or drama television series, Julia Garner for Ozark. Best performance by an actor in a supporting role in a musical comedy or drama television series, Tyler James Williams for Abbott Elementary. Those are the big ones. So I think there's some others, but those are the only ones I'm going to read about right now. But those are your big winners right there. So you've got some pretty interesting Oscar races are going to be pretty interesting and tight with some of the stuff, and you're getting some good views about who's probably going to win, who's going to be nominated, stuff like that. So there you go. Ancient Mayan city has been discovered under the Guatemalan rainforest in a now inhospitable area, so it can be very hard to explore it, but they did discover a whole ancient Mayan city there. The selfie wrist is a health problem now due to the people holding their cameras out like that and taking their pictures and stuff like that. It is now a problem. It's fucking up this wrist right here because your wrist is supposed to be this way and doing the selfies and stuff like that. So there you go. Retired baseball field has been turned into a neighborhood in Japan. So that's a good way if you don't want to tear down a ball field. Because a lot of times they tear down the ball field and rebuild the stadium either on the same site or right across the street from it. But if you don't want to do that, you can keep it up and you can build an entire town in it like the Japanese have done. January 14th, as I mentioned earlier, was my friend Shockdor's birthday. It was also my sister-in-law and brother-in-law's wedding anniversary. We're going to see them later today. And it is also the Feast of the Ass, which is a feast about a donkey, obviously, but I just like to name the Feast of an Ass because I'm an idiot. Frankie Muniz, Malcolm from Malcolm Middle, will be racing full-time this year in NASCAR's ARCA series. He was a racer for a long time after Malcolm Middle ended, and he was pretty good, I guess, but then he took a little hiatus, and now he's back. Rick and Morty co-creator and star Justin Roiland is facing felony domestic battery charges. So if he did, in fact, abuse a family member, he deserves all the punishment he gets. The Popeye Mean kid is now a college football player who has landed a deal with Popeyes. He's the one that I guess has the look on his face and whatever. It's like that. But it's a meme that people are familiar with. For Valentine's Day, usually you have those like eating chalk hearts that have like I love you or be mine or eat me or whatever on it. Well, Tootsie Rolls are now doing something similar for their Valentine's Day stuff. The Tootsie Rolls will not have it on the Tootsie Roll. They will have it on the wrapper, so you can give a bunch to a loved one and say here, and it could say be mine or love me or eat me or blow me or whatever, and then you just make it up and then you throw that out and then you just eat the Tootsie Roll. But they are doing that thing for Valentine's Day right there. Cache of silver coins was found in Israeli cave is a huge discovery. It's always interesting when people find stuff like that. A museum knocked down a Prohibition era wall and discovered wine from the 1700s, which is odd. I wonder how. I don't think you'd want to try it, but that would be interesting to see what it was made up of, or if they add anything to the wine to make it, or if it's just like typical wine that we have now. That's kind of interesting like that. Minx, which I don't know much about, the season 2 was removed by HBO Max, but it was picked up by Starz. So fans of Minx, you will be able to see season 2 here. The SAG Awards, which are coming up really soon, which is the Screen Actors Guild ones where they give out awards to just actors, will be moving to Netflix and be shown live on Netflix in 2024. But this year they'll be streaming it on YouTube whenever it arrives. So keep an eye out for that because YouTube is slowly becoming a huge player now with them, as I told you last week, buying NFL Sunday Ticket so that every NFL game will be on YouTube starting this upcoming season in the fall. That could be interesting to see what they do with that. Ben Affleck works at a Dunkin' Donuts in his hometown in Boston. It's he was filming a commercial for. So it was weird. You're driving to Dunkin' Donuts, you get your coffee and donuts, and it's handed to you by Ben Affleck. So kind of interesting. Speaking of, I should have done this before I did the Ben Affleck thing, but speaking of HBO and HBO Max, they have made a deal. Well, their master, Warner Brothers, I should say, has made a deal with Amazon Prime that they will now allow HBO and HBO Max content to be shown on Amazon Prime. So that sort of defeats the purpose of having an HBO Max. It's not new content, but it's like, their new content at the time. And then after it's been on HBO Max for a while, they'll shift it over to Prime and then they'll have like the series and stuff like that. So you can get caught up on that if you don't have HBO Max, if you have Prime. So there you go. Universal Parks and Resorts. They have the Universal Studios out in California and one down in Florida. Well, they are expanding out in the Southwest. First up, the big one is going to be in Las Vegas. Las Vegas is going to be having a Universal Studios horror park, which will be a 24/7 thing focusing just on horror stuff. They've always done a good thing with the 31 Nights of Halloween or whatever it is they do out there, but Universal is now going to be doing a full horror experience park in Las Vegas. Because remember, Universal owns the Universal Monsters, Dracula, Frankenstein, The Mummy, The Invisible Man, The Creature from the Black Lagoon, Bride of Frankenstein, stuff like that. So The Mummy, things like that. So they'll be doing stuff like that, and then probably have other horror stuff in there as well. And then a regular sort of Universal Park will be put in the huge, magnificent, growing, huge, amazing town in North Texas of Frisco, which I've never heard of before. But apparently Frisco is a growing town in Texas. They're saying could become the next Austin. And Universal decided we're going to put a park there. Okay. William H. Macy has joined the cast of the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes movie that is going to be filming here very soon. The flaming hot Sylvia Sweeney and Glenn Powell from Top Gun Maverick will be teaming up in a R-rated rom-com, which nothing is being discussed about yet, but it is. They have been cast in it, and it is going to be an R-rated romantic comedy, so that could be interesting. And Sydney Sweeney is just wow. Speaking of Flaming Hot Cheetos, I talked about this before. They're making a Flaming Hot Cheetos movie. Well, the first still of the movie popped up, and it will be premiering on Hulu later this summer. Hulu's got all the good stuff because History of the World Part 2, the Mel Brooks sequel to his History of the World Part 1, which I discussed months ago when they announced it, is going to be a multi-4-night TV series. But yes, they are making History of the World Part 2 finally, and it is done. The first trailer for it came out this weekend. It's got a huge guest cast, and it looks like they're going to be focusing on Harriet Tubman and Jesus and the Civil War and World War II and modern day stuff. Looks like I'm maybe getting a little bit of a flavor in there as well. So it looks pretty good. They got a huge cast of character actors, stuff like that. I think Seth Rogen's in there, and Johnny Knoxville, and the guy who played Boyle on Brooklyn Nine-Nine is in it as well. And Wanda Sykes, obviously, who is one of the writers of the series, is also going to be playing Harriet Tubman. And they have a Black Jesus. So it's kind of interesting sort of look at stuff, and it looks hilarious. And I wish I had Hulu now, but I don't. So I'll have to wait and see about that. The Sharper trailer starring Julianne Moore, John Lithgow, and Sebastian Stan was released this week. It's going to be an Apple Plus TV movie. I don't know much about that. I didn't watch the trailer, but there it is right there. Pepperidge Farm has a group of cookies where they're named after locations like Chesapeake and stuff like that. Well, they have the new one now. It's a Charleston birthday cake cookie. So Pepperidge Farm cookies are actually really, really good. So definitely worth to try that out if you want to do some birthday cake stuff. Nerf lands or launches, I should say, Dungeons and Dragons blasters. So you can have Nerf blasters based on Dungeons and Dragons stuff. Simon Pegg will be the voice of Phineas Nigella Black in the Hogwarts Legacy open world video game that was supposed to come out back in December, but is now being delayed till probably spring sometime. It looks good from what I've seen of it so far. So we'll see what happens with that. An anniversary that's close to my heart, local news anniversary. 10 years ago on January 12th, the Mile High Miracle, where the Baltimore Ravens, who were going up against Peyton Manning, the Denver Broncos, who are one of the favorites to go on to the Super Bowl. Joe Flacco, who was having a outstanding playoff season, launches a huge pass to Jacoby Jones, which ties the game with a minute or so left in the game, forces overtime, and the Ravens end up winning it and going on to play the New England Patriots and Tom Brady in the AFC Championship game. They beat them, go and play in the Super Bowl against the San Francisco 49ers, who they beat and win their second Super Bowl title. So that happened 10 years ago. And hopefully something like that will happen again this week. I really want the Ravens to beat the Bengals because the Bengals are a bunch of crybaby, whiny bitches. And everybody is underestimating the Ravens. It drives me crazy that they don't see what I see. And it's not because I'm a fan. You just have to see everything. The Ravens have not been blown out in any one of their games this year, even without Lamar Jackson. And even if they were saying that without Lamar Jackson, you cannot win this game, if Lamar Jackson came back and was practicing all week, he still would have been the first time he'd practiced since December 4th. And his knee is probably not 100%, so it wouldn't be Lamar Jackson. So I don't think he would have beaten him. So we'll see what happens. But we'll see about that. Another one of my least favorite people, Michael Bay, is finally getting some karma. He is charged with killing a pigeon in Italy during the production of his Netflix movie Six Underground. So that's a big deal when you kill an animal you're not supposed to. I mean, that's the whole point. There's animal people who make sure that animals are not harmed, and yet he flouts that and kills a pigeon and is getting busted for it now in Italy. So we'll see what happens with that. Speaking of other people I don't like, James Cameron, who just can't keep his goddamn mouth shut, has cites that his film's massive box office take is proof that people are tired of streaming and want to go back to the movie theaters again. You're a fucking idiot. The only movies that get huge numbers of people to come out to movie theaters are the event films, the MCU movies, Top Gun Maverick, your crappy shit show of a movie. But all the other movies, Megan had a pretty good run at 30 million. That's sort of a higher film, but it's not really, no. People like their streaming movies because they discovered that it's so much easier to watch movies in the comfort of their own home instead of having to get in the car, drive to the movie theater, pay for an overpriced ticket, pay for overpriced popcorn and drinks, sit in, most times they're comfortable chairs, but you're in a theater surrounded by people who think they're at home. They don't turn off their phones despite the fact that people say you should. They talk, they make noise. They throw comments at the screen. And if you have to go to the bathroom, you can't pause the movie. You're going to miss part of the movie. If you can't hear what they're saying because the sound is so loud, there's no subtitles, and it's not comfortable. And then you're surrounded by people, some who could be sick, could have COVID, whatever. And it's you want to see the big budget ones, sure, but it's not. The fact that a couple movies have made a lot of money doesn't mean that, hey, no, we should just, people want to go to the movie theaters now. They don't want to watch movies on streaming anymore. And that's a bunch of bullshit. I'm sorry. A lot of times movies that, people might not even think that they'd be interested in seeing at the movie theaters, if they see them in the company of their own home or in their own home, with the fact that they can pause stuff and they can put subtitles on and they can have their snacks and their quietness and their talking and just you, and you're comfortable and you can be wrapped up in a blanket. You don't have to move or do anything like that. You just stay in your house. People want that. They crave that. They like that. Again, the event movies is a different story, but majority of movies, just blindly going out there and saying, because my movie made so much money, people don't like streaming anymore. You can just suck my dick, Cameron. Shut the fuck up, you tool idiot asshole. New rumor now, Marvel is going to be creating a Strange Academy TV show with Benedict Wong from Doctor Strange. Strange Academy is a really good comic, and it lends itself to become a really good TV show, and you get Benedict to do it. It's a great idea. So good on that. More deaths this week. Lee Tinsley, a Major League Baseball player from 1993-1997, played for the Mariners, Phillies, and Red Sox. He passed away this week. Charles White, a USC tailback who won the Heisman in 1979, also played 9 years in the NFL. He died this week as well. Actress Carol Cook, who, if you saw 16 Candles, she plays the grandmother, not the older one, but the one with the obnoxious husband who she's smoking in the one scene in 16 Candles. She's smoking while opening the donuts. And also she's the one that touches Molly Ringwald's tits to say she's got boobies. That's Carol Cook. She was also one of Lucille Ball's favorite people in the world and was a protege of Lucille Ball. So Carol Cook passed away this week as well. And that's everything for this page. So the next page. This is kind of interesting. I don't know if you've seen those free library, little kiosks or books that you see in front of houses or churches or schools or whatever. And it's a neighborhood free library. It's a very small box little thing where people can take a book, leave a book, whatever. And, you open the doors and you take stuff, and then you can read it, and you can either return it, or you can pass it on to someone else, or you can return it back, or you can keep it. And then you drop off some other books if you want to. It's a way to do a good mixture of stuff. We've got a couple in this area. Well, now there's a Blockbuster box now. Apparently somebody made a box filled with videos and DVDs and painted the Blockbuster colors on it and called it Blockbuster. And so now, just sort of like the free library thing, it's a free video thing. If you want to, there's a particular movie you want to see, if you have some movies that you don't need or have extras of, you put them in these boxes, and voila, people can take them, they can keep them, or they can watch them and return them. I don't know. I don't care. But I kind of find that as a really kind of a neat idea. In the why do we need this? Tinfoil hats for cats, to protect your cats from the aliens trying to invade our minds. That is now a thing also. Captain Crunch birthday crunch. Captain Crunch apparently is 60 years old this year as well. They are releasing a new anniversary birthday style cereal called Captain Crunch Birthday Crunch. So that's out soon, if not now. Noibat is a surprise Pokemon February Community Day. Noibat is a Pokemon that doesn't spawn all that often. Is one that people are interested in getting, and now he gets his own community day, which is really, really cool. Security camera catches a raccoon playing in the snow, and it's one of the most really cute, adorable things you've ever seen. Madeline Zena joins Megan Fox in her film Subservience. Black Panther Wakanda Forever comes out on Disney Plus February 1st. I mentioned that last week, but we also have a date of February 7th of Wakanda Forever showing up on Blu-ray. So you'll be able to get that on Blu-ray. Crows are self-aware like we are. And Raven, a 4-month-old raven, is as smart as an adult ape. So the birds certain birds are very smart. And, studies have shown that crows are self-aware. They are aware that they are themselves. They are this crow, we are that crow, stuff like that. The Workaholics film that many people are looking forward to has been canceled by Paramount Plus. It was about to shoot in a couple weeks, but it no longer will be shooting now. Speaking of Paramount Plus, they got 2 new series coming up in April. One is Fatal Attraction, the series based on the movie. It will be coming out April 30th. And The Grease, Rise of the Pink Ladies will be out April 16th. The first trailer for that came out. I'm sorry, it looks pretty bad. That's just me. The WWE was sold to Saudi Arabia, and a lot of wrestling fans are like, if that sale goes through, I'm sailing away because I don't want to work for the Saudi Arabians. So that's an interesting thing. Shane Black and Greg Nicotero will be teaming up for AMC's new AMC spy TV series. So it's interesting to see those two together doing something like that. Speaking of AMC, they announced The Walking Dead, some Walking Dead news. Fear the Walking Dead, which is entering its 8th season, will be 8th season that's coming up here soon, will be the last season of that show. The Dead City spinoff is due to come out in June. The Daryl TV show is scheduled to come out in late 2023, and the Rick and Michonne spinoff is due to come out in 2024. Ghostbusters Firehouse, a sequel to the wonderful Ghostbusters Afterlife, starts filming March 6th for a December 20th release date. I hope it makes it with all the special effects they need to do and stuff like that, because I don't want to see that move to 2024. I'd like to see that this year as well. Francis Ford Coppola, who hasn't made a movie since the early 2000s and has had problems many times, particularly making Apocalypse Now and some other movies as well, has had trouble, with making movies, is again having troubles with his epic Megalopolis. He is suffering with an out of control budget and crew departures. So, again, much like with many of his other films he's made, he has many issues with the making of his films. So in the end, they'll be made, and we'll see what happens. But right now, it's kind of a shit show. Georgia destroys TCU in the National College Football National Championship, 65-7. That's an embarrassment. A deep fake showed Ryan Gosling as Ghost Rider, and actually, I'm not the biggest Ryan Gosling fan, but the deep fake was actually really, really good. It was using the deep fake for the Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider movies, but Ryan Gosling could be a pretty good Ghost Rider in the MCU. Babies R Us is coming back this summer in one store in New Jersey, and they'll see how that goes, and they'll expand it even more than that. So good on that. Kahlua and Cream Coffee Creamer will be coming really soon. That could be very interesting to try out. Lucky Hank is the first look at Lucky Hank, the new Bob Odenkirk show. Now that he's done his other show. Excuse me. First look at that came out this week and is due to come out March 19th. I think that's AMC also. Native American artist Lucinda Hinojos created art for the Super Bowl tickets this year. So she's the first Native American to have her artwork put on a Super Bowl ticket, which is really cool. They both died at the end. A very strange novel will be turned into a TV show for Netflix. I haven't read it, but I heard it's kind of weird. Excuse me again. Post honey bunches of oats granola chips is a thing now. So you get granola and honey bunches of oats together in a chip. So that's kind of good. A Dungeons and Dragons live action TV show will be coming to Paramount Plus. Man, Paramount Plus has got all kinds of stuff going on. Lucky Charms S'mores cereal is the new Lucky Charms, a s'mores flavored cereal coming out here soon. Let's see, what else do we have? Anniversary, local trailer. Beau is Afraid, a new trailer for a movie starring Joaquin Phoenix from the director of Midsommar and Hereditary. Is due out April 21st. It is one of the weirdest trailers I've ever seen. It's a weird little film, looks like. So, we'll see how well that does. Gunther's Millions trailer came out. February 1st, reality show showing up on Netflix about the world's richest dog. Heiress died and gave her $400 million bank account to her dog. And they have made a reality series about that will be airing on Netflix starting February 1st. The first trailer for it popped up this week. In local news, Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers opens in Towson. I don't know much about that, but it's a new chain restaurant in Towson, which is right down the road from me and where I grew up from. The Baltimore Ravens, who picked up linebacker Roquan Smith from the Bears at the trade deadline earlier this year, and his arrival has turned the Ravens defense from a mediocre defense to one of the best in football, has signed a 5-year extension. So that's excellent because he is perfect. He is the MVP this year, totally be the MVP this year. And a Maryland girl finds a once-in-a-lifetime shark tooth from a 50-foot megalodon. So that's kind of neat. It's the first of 2 megalodon tooth stories we'll be talking about here. I'll do another one here in a second. Anniversaries. It's the 40th anniversary of Fraggle Rock, which came on HBO and was there during my growing up phase. And I watched it and I enjoyed it immensely. I really, really liked Fraggle Rock a lot. And it is 40 years old. So it came out in 1983. So, wow. Yep. So I've been watching it for a while there. Yeah, so it was the right time. About 10 years old is when I started watching it. What else do we got here? And the other anniversary we have is Goldfinger, the very first, or is that Doctor No, the second James Bond movie, I should say, but one of the more famous ones is 59 years old this week, which means next year will be the 60th anniversary of Goldfinger. So they'll probably be doing some big deal about that. So if they want to do something big about that, they really need to get a new James Bond so they can release a movie to coincide with the 60th anniversary of Goldfinger, but that comes out next year. But this year, the 59th anniversary of it was this week. Keeping with the anniversaries, Leprechaun, the great movie with the leprechaun, the killer leprechaun, came out in 1993. So that's 30 years now. So Leprechaun is now 30 years old. So there we go. Some more death. Adam Rich, the 8 is Enough kid, who I remember growing up. I used to watch 8 Enough all the time. He passed away at the age of 54 this week. And Annette McCarthy, who was Evelyn Marsh on Twin Peaks, which was a terrible storyline, but she was a Twin Peaks on the Twin Peaks show for multiple episodes. She passed away this week as well. The Baltimore Ravens, I said, got their prime time. I never talked about that. I talked about a tooth was discovered on the Australian beach, not the same one that the Maryland girl found, but this is a different one. A tooth was discovered on the Australian beach, came from a shark 3 times the size of a great white. So you're assuming that's probably another megalodon sort of tooth. So that was discovered here. I gotta leave that one last. I'll leave a couple of weird ones. AMC has canceled the 2nd season of a new animated show, Pantheon, even after it has completed production. So that was kind of a weird sort of thing. Netflix has a series called Cat People, which shows a diverse amount of people who love cats. So to go inside with their rich dog one, they have a cat one now. Man discovers a wad of cash dating back to the Great Depression while excavating his lawn. And that's pretty cool. Now we're going to end on 3 bizarre stories. One is not that bizarre, but it's kind of like, Cleveland has okayed sports betting and it's made it legal like they have here in Maryland. So former Browns player Bernie Kosar, who is now part of the pregame radio show for the Cleveland Browns, decided that now that it was legal, he was going to make a bet, because why not? I got the money. I want to bet. So he made a $19,000 bet. And the Cleveland Browns said, "You're fired." I'm still trying to wrap my head around that. It was a legal bet. It wasn't illegal because sports betting is now legal in Cleveland and in Ohio. He was betting his own money. He is not currently playing for the team. He is a pregame radio show host. So betting on the Browns to win or lose or whatever, it does not affect you. You legalized sports gambling. So if you wanted to make a statement that you don't agree with that, okay, that's your right. And I guess that's why you did what you did. But he legally made that bet. And it's not your money, it's his money. And it might have been the money that he got for working the show, but he did a job for you, and it's his money to do with whatever he wants to. Cleveland Browns are just a fucking joke right now. And it's not even funny. That's just the dumbest story I've ever heard. He made a legal bet. He isn't a player. He hasn't played for years. He's a pregame radio talk show host. The stupid fucking talk show hosts here in Baltimore who are stupid and moronic and obnoxious, they are probably making bets. They have a whole fucking radio station here in Maryland about sports betting. And they have people on their shows to talk about sports betting. The Baltimore Ravens and the Orioles are not going to say, well, you made a bet here, sports bet thing, so we're going to fire you. It's just stupid. Dinosaur legs were grown on a genetically modified chicken embryo. So we're starting to get to the point where we're going to start getting into Jurassic Park era shit now. So I'm going to shake my head, man. Maybe we need some sort of chicken dinosaur hybrid to come and wipe us out. Don't know. Finally, the final story for tonight in our new book, and here in the second week of January. Bizarre study suggests that octopi, or octopuses, or octopus, whatever you want to call it, are actually from outer space. Yes, they're weird. Yes, they have weird tentacles. Yes, they have weird big eyes. Yes, they punch fish for fun. Octopi from outer space. A study suggests that. You're out of your freaking mind. So that is it for this week's show. Next week, we'll see what happens. We'll have the results of the NFL playoff season. We'll see what else is coming up. I don't know anything major coming up, so we'll see what next week brings. So have a great, wonderful week. It's Martin Luther King Day on Monday, so a lot of people have off that day. I don't. So have fun there, and good luck on everything, and good luck to any of your teams that are playing in the playoffs, except for you, Cincinnati. You need to lose badly. That's just me, though. So we'll see. We'll come back here next week and we'll tell you how things go. And if anything changed and has anything big happened or any new trailers or whatever, we'll be here to tell that. This is Dylan Nose signing off. It's your cure for insomnia.